Dreams to dream, songs to sing, Celtic faithful have always been renowned for the musical accompaniment they provide as the soundtrack to the club's on-field exploits. Even in defeat, such as that night in Seville, May 2003, a chorus of song can be found to lift the heart and echo the pride.
To me, over and over, again encapsulated the whole Seville experience. For me, and I imagine for all fans who were there and experienced it, whether at the game or not, again the lines say, you can take us anywhere, we won't let you down. 80,000 fans, maybe plus, showed the world how you can go abroad and support your team, even in defeat, and the club can still be proud.
I've been a songwriter and a Celtic supporter all my life, so it's always interested me just what it was about this club of ours that inspires other songwriters to pick up a guitar or sit down at the piano and compose the songs of Celtic.
Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand, all across this ancient land. Throughout the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free. Those songs of yours and mine.
The Celtic story has always been one best told in song. A story of passion, excitement, desolation, victory, and above all, endurance. In fact, less of a story, more of an opera.
If you look at the history of opera, the best operas are tragic stories, love stories that are thwarted in some way.
And if it's an opera, what opera is it? I'm not sure about that. Is it a threepenny opera? Is it Mother Courage? I think it definitely is a tale of triumph over adversity, which means that we're not given to triumphalism. We are given to lamentation, because we have to acknowledge the poverty of the past we came from.
Some people have drawn analogies between the drama and the passion of the game, the unexpected nature of the twist and turn of the direction of plot, if you like, in football, and that aspect, that analogous aspect in opera. So who knows?
Of course, everyone has a favourite.
My favourite Celtic song is Johnny Thompson's song.
The Fields of Bath and Rye.
What the people sing?
Probably the Willie Maley song.
Can't even mind the name, mate.
You'll never walk alone, so don't you jump in with it.
Alright, well I won't say that, I'll say something else. Okay. The one with 4-leaf clover on the breast, green and white across my chest. That one.
That's the Comrade's song.
So in this, side one of our dreams and songs, let's start off with a genuine classic, Celtic song.
When I was a young boy, I got taken to Celtic Park as a show around day, and walking through that tunnel and hearing that music, I just imagined myself being a Celtic player and how much adrenaline it would give you to run on that park and play for the Hooks. It would be absolutely brilliant. What a lift it must give the boys every day when they come on it, and the whole crowd singing that as well.
Such an iconic song. Everyone knows the words to it, and the crowds get behind it and start belting out, and Sean the Runners like it.
Every Sunday morning I watch the games in California, so when I hear the song it makes me think of coming back home and watching the games.
The Celtic song, or Hail Hail, is a song so connected with the club that no Hoops side takes to the home pitch without hearing it played. It is the match day overture that's inspired many a Celt, and it seems to have been around forever.
When I first heard it being sung, it seemed old then, and the words of it, grand and old, are old words. Grand is something that, you know, people's parents and grandparents say. It's an Irishism, and it's a kind of older term. You say something's grand. You don't really see it. It's always associated with that song. If somebody told me that song was sung in the 1920s, I'd have believed it, because in the 60s and into the 70s, I associated it with my father's generation, with an older generation. So for me, grand old team, like Grand Old Opry, it was something that harked back.
Well, not quite the 1920s. The Celtic song was actually recorded in 1961 by Mr. Glasgow himself, Glenn Daly, as his son recalls.
It was very much an economy recording in the studio. One sound engineer, two musicians. I think it probably would hold the record of the cheapest record ever made. Jack Emblow was the accordion player. He's a jazz icon even yet, and an anonymous drummer. So the boat certainly wasn't pushed out in terms of money that was spent. So much so then, when they started selling tens of thousands of copies at 6 and 9 a time, a lot of money was flowing into the coffers at Pye, and they found this tremendous enthusiasm for football records.
The Celtic song's always been seen as a jaunty rallying cry for the boys, but predictably it was viewed with suspicion by certain sections of the establishment.
The Celtic song and the Johnny Thompson song were met with a very hostile press reception. The Celtic song was described as controversial. It was threatened to be banned. Glasgow police condemned it. The press were actually said that it would create problems at Old Firm matches and in football stadia all over Scotland. But the irony was that the same papers that had carried the critical headlines regarding it, by the end of October, were giving the records away in newspaper competitions and writing very, very positive articles about its record sales. Scottish radio ignored the release of the Celtic song. It was never played in BBC Scotland. The only play that it did get was in Radio Luxembourg. And there was a very distinguished DJ of the day called Brian Matthew. And he always introduced it in the same way. He would come on about 8 o'clock at night and he would say, "Now here's a man who's setting the heather and fire up in bonnie Scotland with praise of his favourite football team, the Celtic song by Glenn Daly." Now this song was completely out of place in the middle of all these rock and pop songs, but it was getting played because Pye were saying, "This is a big seller for us, boost it on your programme."
Perhaps the finest Hail Hail moment was the one that preceded the club's greatest 90 minutes. When all around him were trying to hold their nerve in that Portuguese tunnel, one player had a flash of inspiration.
The length of time we were standing in the tunnel, that was kind of long, and it was a big kind of drab looking place. And we were in there for maybe about 5 minutes, and it was getting kind of tedious. And Jimmy was doing his usual shouting and bawling and keeping everybody on their toes. And I just felt as if it was time. We did it in the bus, we did it in the, just going to like that Ayr or Kilmarnock. So what's the difference between that and Portugal? And I started to sing the song, and everybody in the team started to sing. Tremendous harmony, which is very seldom in that mob that I played with. But the harmony was fabulous, the atmosphere was great. But also, I think the people outside, the supporters, actually heard it and they started to sing it as well. Oh, it was tremendous.
Bertie's karaoke may have been unorthodox, but just like his style on the pitch, his timing off it was immaculate.
For it's a grand old team to play for, and it's a grand old team to see. And if You know the history, it's enough to make your heart grow. We don't care to win, lose or draw. What the hell do we care? For we only know there's gonna be a show, and the Glasgow Celtic will be there, and the Glasgow Celtic will be there. There you go, Glenn. You taught me the right way.
Nearly 50 years on, Celtic song still inspires the modern day Celts.
In a game they have to win to even have a chance of taking the title race further. Nakamura! His first Old Firm goal! And typically, it's a beauty!
And it's a song destined now to enter Japanese folklore.
だから子供が気に入ってあればっか聞いて家でやってるこうやって出てくる玄関ドアから出てくるあでれれれってってってててれてれてれってでしょ
It's clearly something that Celtic supporter Glenn Daly would have enjoyed.
He was surprised by its initial success. The preparation was for the John Thompson song to be the big song, but I don't think he would ever have dreamt that 50 years have almost passed and it's still being played as the team comes on the field at Celtic Park. I would imagine that the vast majority of people who attend Celtic Park can't even remember when it was released. You know, they would need to be in their mid-50s to 60s. So I think he would be surprised, but be very, very proud that it has lasted that long time. But incidentally, the B-side of that record was An Irishman's Dream. And I always thought that was quite appropriate because what are Celtic other than Brother Wilfred's dream?
In 1977, after picking up the Premier League and the Scottish Cup, the entire double-winning Celtic squad also got the chance to shine on record, courtesy of singer-songwriter Tommy Scott.
Kenny made it work. Kenny and Danny McGrain, they were fantastic. You know, it got a wee bit
boisterous, shall we say, yes.
And at one stage I says, Danny, I says, come on, give it. So he went out on the floor and says, we're up here to do a job. Tommy's a Celtic supporter, give him a, you know. And they just says, okay, boom, behind the mics, tracks come over. And when they heard, see, they hadn't heard anything.
Right.
But when this come up, you know, they all just immediately, oh, over and over. Yeah.
We will follow you over and over. We will see it through. We are Celtic supporters, faithful through and through. And over, we will follow you. If you go to Germany, you will see us there. France or Spain, it's all the same. We'll go anywhere. We'll be there to cheer you as you travel round. You can take us anywhere. We won't let you down.
Now, if Danny McGrain's a singer, then I'm a world-class fullback, which I'm not, but over and over has become an acknowledged Celtic favourite. But is it the handiwork of Tommy Scott, or is it Tommy Kilpatrick?
So my mum came in with a cup of tea. She says, what are you doing? I says, I'm writing a song for the Celtic. She says, you kidding me? I says, no, I've got the commission. I've got to write the song. She says, can I hear it? So I played it over and over. Da, dee, da, da, da. She says, marvellous. Would you do me a favour? I says, yes, certainly, Mum. What's that? Put your own name on it. Put your own name on it, she says, because I'm Tommy Scott, but I'm actually Tommy Kilpatrick.
All right.
Tommy Scott is a pseudonym I've used all my musical career. She says, every time I tell it, she lived in Canada at the time, she'd immigrated. Every time I tell them that my son made that hit, they say, well, who the hell's Tommy Scott? So the record went out with the lyrics printed on the back of the record by Tom Kilpatrick and then produced by Tommy Scott.
It's a simple melody and easy to learn lyrics. Over and Over has been delighting us for over 30 years. The emotion of Over and Over has probably never been more tested than that in Seville 2003.
I remember looking around, looked around at my wife, looked around at other fans. Everyone had tears in their eyes. We were just so proud of the team and the effort they'd put in, because if anyone who'd been there can remember the heat they had to play in. They played for 120 minutes, played their hearts out, and only narrowly failed with 10 men. And it was just a real lump in the throat moment, and my heart was huge, because I was just so proud of the players and the effort they put in that night.
We were at sea on the QE2, and we arranged through the captain to get us a screening of the thing. And when I watched the match and they were singing Over and Over, tears were blinding me. You've no idea, you know. It does. I've written about, as a writer and a producer, over 35 top 20 hits. That's the one that turns it on for me. That and a song called Scotland Forever. When I hear these songs, I just fill up. But the Over and Over, you're a Celtic supporter all your life, you know. And when I hear that song, my God, it just tears me apart.
The songs of Celtic, the music that surrounds our club, isn't always a celebration. Defeat also has been an inspiration. Not quite high on our list of great European nights was one in September 1989, when Celtic defeated Partizan Belgrade by 5 goals to 4. Jackie Jakanowski bagged 4 of the goals that night, but the Celts lost out on away goals.
Well, the first piece I wrote inspired by Celtic was a piano concerto called The Berserking, which is played in many, many places all over the world. I conducted it in Belgium and Holland recently, and it was inspired by the 5-4 game against Partizan Belgrade. In fact, I can honestly and proudly say it's the only piano concerto in the history of music that's inspired by the away goals rule. That's a claim and a half. Celtic supporters will remember that night where, trying to overturn a 1-0 defeat from Belgrade, they went on to win the game 5-4. Jackie Jakanowski scored 4 of those 5 goals, but Celtic were still bundled out of the competition because they were playing suicidally at the back. And I suppose it was that question of misdirected energy that inspired me, you know, a fervour of aggression and passion, but yet this inability to think tactically in the end. And I decided there was music in that.
Has given Partizan Belgrade the lead in the away leg and a 3-1 advantage on the tie altogether. Stay looking for Elliott, found him, and a good flick on, and Jakanowski gets the goal. The Pole scores against the Yugoslavs, and the Scots go mad. Walker, Grant, it's gone loose, and it's gone in. The Pole has done it again. Jurovski setting up the chance, which is taken, and no wonder there's a cartwheel from Djordjevic. Galloway, Elliott, pulled too kindly. Galloway goes back inside, tries to set up Aitken and has done so, and here's the chance. Oh, and what a rifling shot by Jakanowski. Through the middle, and the offside trap is beaten. Jurovski scores. He's away this time, the ball, and it's gone in from Walker. This is unbelievable stuff. Aldridge looking to set up an attack immediately. This is Galloway. Oh, and it's going to touch it, and it's the pole again. It's the pole again. Jakanovski. Spasic. Durovsky, and it's in. It's in. Shevkovic has scored right at the end. Little more than a minute remaining. It is unbelievable.
So far we've looked at songs and musical pieces specifically written for Celtic, but there's one song, huge Hope's favourite, that isn't even about football.
Never Walk Alone really gets the passion behind the team, the support, and especially in European nights.
It's absolutely electric on a Champions League night. People all around the world must just want to be there. It's just so, it sends shivers down my spine, never mind, I don't know what it does to other people who are watching it at home. It's just absolutely electric.
Nobody can deny the sights and sounds of Celtic Park are at their most awe-inspiring when the home support have their scarves aloft and they're singing "You'll Never Walk Alone." But what is it about a song originally from a 1950s American musical that has aroused such passion?
That's a song that for me is very much bound up with the 1960s, and also with the voice of Jerry Marsden. For me, I had the single. So I think of "You'll Never Walk Alone" as a fantastic song. For some reason I always associate it with nights, with European nights, and with people putting their scarves up. So it's a special song. It's not a song that you sing, that you would have readily, or that you would necessarily sing anywhere.
I think it's one of the first things you notice, either as a little boy going along to your first game, or even as an outsider. I've taken people who have no connection with football or even Scotland to Celtic games, and the first thing they notice is the kind of ear-tingling, hair-tingling effect of walking into the stadium and seeing the whole place on its feet singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," and the decibels generated by that, and it's like nothing else on earth seeing that for the first time.
But isn't "You'll Never Walk Alone" really a Liverpool song?
Never. It's Celtic through and through. Liverpool, take it from us, believe you me.
We sing it better than Liverpool, but it is their song, I mean.
That's what I'd say.
I'm not sure there's a kind of chicken and egg thing. I can see that whole argument I'm not really sure about. I mean, I think Celtic seem to feel they own it. I never have any sense myself that we stole it, that we borrowed it, that it's really Liverpool's song. I think I mean, I've never been to Anfield, so I don't know what the atmosphere's like when they sing it. But I think we do it well, we've made it our own, and sometimes, you know, the cover version can be better than the original. If it turns out that we've taken it from them, then I think they did a bloody good job.
I guess it doesn't really matter who owns the bragging rights to "You'll Never Walk Alone." When the voice of Jerry Marsden comes over the PA system at Celtic Park on match day, it ignites a passion for football in general, but Celtic in particular. Is there a better way to close side one of our Celtic songs in Dreams and Songs?